Next week on The Young and the Restless.
Hey everyone! This week on The Young and the Restless, things are getting super messy and dangerous. First, Jack and Nikki's plan to make their spouses jealous totally backfires. They've been getting close on purpose, hoping to force Diane and Victor to talk and fix their marriages. But Diane walks in on Jack and Nikki in a really compromising situation, and honestly, it might have been staged by them. Sparks could fly for real between Jack and Nikki, which would make everything worse. If Diane tells Victor, the drama explodes. We could see both marriages, Victor and Nikki, plus Jack and Diane, completely fall apart. And who knows, maybe Nikki ends up back with Jack. And Victor reconnects with Diane. A full partner swap? It's possible. Over with Abby and Devon, the tension is high. Devon is still furious that Mariah got off easy after kidnapping Dominic. He's scared she might have another breakdown and come after their son again. So he filed an appeal against her plea deal behind Abby's back. Abby's not having it. She wants healing, not more punishment. They're fighting hard, but it looks like Abby might convince or pressure Devon to drop the appeal. Phyllis is on the warpath. Victor is coming after her hard, and Summer's company is in a real danger of collapsing. Victoria is even investigating Phyllis. Meanwhile, Crazy Patty is still obsessed with Jack and wants Diane gone. Remember, she assaulted Jack before. Phyllis is furious about Patty's games and Victor's role in everything. Expect Phyllis to confront Patty and straight up threaten her to stay away from Jack. Now the scary stuff in Las Vegas. Nick puts everyone in danger. He and Adam were kidnapped by Matt. Chelsea managed to rescue them, but the threat isn't over. Matt stole Nick's phone and used it to lure Sharon to Las Vegas. Nick is in bad shape. He's using cocaine and fentanyl. He's mentally unstable, and he is lying about it. He even drives while high, with Adam in the car. Sharon and Noah walk right into a trap in an abandoned building. There's a huge risk of an ambush by Matt, and someone could get seriously hurt. If anyone Nick loves gets harmed because of him, he might finally hit rock bottom. And watch out, Reza might be deceiving Adam big time. Adam keeps pushing her for the truth. She has a long, shady history with Matt, maybe even drug deals and plans against the Newman family. She could know exactly where Matt is and what he's planning for Sharon and Noah. Is she being controlled by Matt, or has she been playing both sides all alone? Adam's about to find out. Overall, this week is full of rising tension, dangerous escalations with Matt and the Newmans, shaky relationships that could break, and tons of deception finally coming to light. Genoa City is on fire.
We got a jealousy plan that could destroy 2 marriages at once. A legal battle tearing Devin and Abby apart. Phyllis going head-to-head with Patty Williams. Nick Newman putting everyone he loves in serious danger. And Adam closing in on a woman who may have been playing both sides this entire time. Storyline 1. The jealousy plan that could burn everything down. Jack Abbott and Nikki Newman have a plan. And on paper, almost makes sense, which is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Both of them are in troubled marriages right now. Jack's relationship with Diane has taken serious damage after his betrayal with Patty Williams. Nikki and Victor are in their own complicated place, carrying the weight of decades of conflict, distance, and unresolved tension. So somewhere in a quiet, private conversation, these 2 old friends looked at each other and landed on an idea: use jealousy as a tool. Make their spouses feel the threat of losing them. Force the conversations that neither Diane nor Victor seems willing to have. Shake the foundation enough that something real finally comes out of it. The goal isn't to blow up their marriages. The goal is to save them. That's what they tell themselves, anyway. But now here's where things get interesting, because Diane catches them. She walks into a compromising situation involving Jack and Nikki, and the timing could not be worse. Whether this moment was deliberately staged or just catastrophically bad luck, the result is the same. Diane sees something she cannot unsee, and it lands on top of every wound she's already carrying from the Patty situation. And this is where the plan starts revealing its fatal flaw. Because a jealousy strategy only works if the feelings stay controlled and calculated. But Jack and Nikki have history, real, deep, complicated history. And the longer they spend in each other's orbit, playing at intimacy, testing the edges of what their relationship looks like, the higher the risk that something real starts to surface. Looks like the line between performance and genuine feeling could blur very quickly here. And if it does, this plan stops being a tactic and becomes the actual problem. Now Diane is furious, and Diane furious is not a passive state. She's someone who acts, which means the next likely move is that she goes to Victor. She tells him what she saw, and suddenly, Victor Newman, a man who already has complicated feelings about Nikki and Jack's closeness, has new information delivered by a woman who is hurt and angry and not in a place to soften the story. I wonder if that's actually the worst version of how this plays out. Because if Victor and Diane are both reacting to the same perceived betrayal at the same time from two different angles, the fallout doesn't just damage one marriage. It potentially collapses both. And then you're looking at a completely different landscape. Nikki and Jack, freed from the wreckage of their respective marriages, gravitating toward each other for real. Victor, alone and burning with that specific kind of pride-wounded rage, possibly looking for his own comfort elsewhere. Possibly toward Diane, who would be equally alone and equally wounded. The partner swap outcome isn't guaranteed, but it is absolutely on the table. And a road to get there is paved entirely with good intentions that went spectacularly wrong. Storyline 2, Devin versus Abby. Justice or healing? Devin Hamilton is not okay with how things ended for Mariah. And honestly, understanding where he's coming from isn't hard. Mariah kidnapped Dominic, his son. Whatever Mariah's mental state was, whatever led her to that point, the act itself was real and the danger to Dominic was real. Devin has not forgotten that. And he has not moved on from it the way other people seem to expect him to. So Devin files an appeal against Mariah's plea deal, and he does it without telling Abby first. That decision, the unilateral move, the going around her, is where the conflict between them ignites. Because Abby is not in the same place Devin is about this. Abby's priority is healing. She wants the family to find a way through this and come out the other side intact. She doesn't think putting Mariah through more legal punishment serves that goal. She thinks it prolongs the pain and keeps everyone stuck in a worst moment of their lives rather than moving forward from it. These are not unreasonable positions. That's what makes this conflict genuinely difficult to watch. Both Devin and Abby have real, defensible reasons for where they stand. Devin's fear that Mariah could relapse, could become a danger to Dominic again. That is a father protecting his child. Abby's belief that punishment without healing helps no one. That is a mother trying to hold her family together. But Devin went ahead without her. And that breach of trust, that feeling of being cut out of a major decision about her own child's life. Abby is not letting that go. The likely outcome here is that Abby pushes Devin hard enough, consistently enough, that he eventually drops the appeal. But the damage to their relationship from how he handled it is going to linger. This isn't just a legal disagreement. This is a question of whether Devin trusts Abby as a partner in the decisions that matter most. And right now, his actions say he doesn't. Storyline 3, Phyllis versus Patty, and Victor in the background. Phyllis Summers is dealing with enemies on multiple fronts this week, and she is not the type to sit quietly and wait for things to get worse. Victor is actively moving against her. Victoria is out there digging for whatever ammunition she can find, and Summer's company is showing signs of collapse, which, given Victor's involvement in Phyllis's world, is almost certainly not a coincidence. This is what Victor does. He doesn't come at you directly until the moment is right. First, he dismantles the things around you. But then there's Patty Williams, and Phyllis has a separate, more personal issue with her. Patty is obsessed with Jack. She has always been obsessed with Jack. And her goal right now is to get Diane out of the picture, which means Patty's chaos is bleeding directly into the same territory where Phyllis has her own stakes. Patty already assaulted Jack. She is unpredictable, she is fixated, and she is operating without the kind of rational self-interest that would normally make someone pump the brakes. Phyllis is furious about Patty's involvement with Jack, about Victor's fingerprints on her professional life, about the feeling of being squeezed from every direction at once. And Phyllis does not absorb that kind of pressure quietly. She confronts Patty directly. She makes it clear, stay away from Jack. Back off. Whatever Patty thinks she's doing, wherever she thinks this obsession is taking her, Phyllis is telling her it ends here. Now here's the thing. Threatening Patty Williams is a bit like trying to reason with a live wire. Patty does not respond to logic or intimidation the way a normal person does. The confrontation may very well make things worse before it makes them better. But Phyllis isn't doing this because it's strategically perfect. She's doing it because she is at the end of her patience, and someone has to say it out loud. Meanwhile, Victor is still circling, and with Victoria feeding him information about Phyllis, the net is tightening. Phyllis is fighting on two fronts: the irrational, unpredictable threat that is Patty and the cold, calculated threat that is Victor Newman. Neither one is easy. Facing both at the same time is genuinely dangerous. Storyline 4. Nick's Spiral and the Trap in Las Vegas. This is the storyline with the highest immediate stakes this week, and it is moving fast. Here's the background. Nick and Adam were kidnapped by Matt Clark. Chelsea found them and got them out. The immediate danger passed, but the situation around Matt did not resolve. Matt is still out there, and now he has a new target. He used Nick's phone to send a message to Sharon, luring her toward Las Vegas. And Sharon, not knowing what's actually waiting for her, is heading straight into it, with Noah alongside her. They're being led to an abandoned building, and Matt almost certainly has plans for whoever shows up. But that's not even the worst part of what's happening with Nick. Nick is using cocaine and fentanyl, and he is not stable. He is lying about his condition to the people around him, performing enough normalcy to keep them from asking too many questions. And then he gets behind the wheel of a car with Adam in the passenger seat. Adam sees exactly what's happening. He is sitting next to his brother, watching him drive in a state that is clearly impaired, and the alarm he feels is real and immediate. This is not a situation where Adam can easily intervene. Nick is behind the wheel, they are moving, and any confrontation in that car carries its own risk. But doing nothing while Nick drives on cocaine and fentanyl is its own kind of danger. The stakes here are stacking on top of each other in a way that feels like something has to give. Sharon and Noah are walking into a trap they don't know exists. Nick is physically impaired and emotionally unraveling. Adam knows some of what's happening, but maybe not all of it. And Matt is sitting at the center of all of it, having pulled exactly the strings he needed to pull to get the pieces into position. The key theme underneath all of this is what happens to Nick when the consequences land. He is heading toward a rock bottom, and the specific shape of that rock bottom, the thing most likely to finally break through whatever wall he's built around himself, is the possibility that someone he loves gets hurt because of choices he made while he was using. Sharon in that abandoned building, Noah in danger. If Nick's state is even partially responsible for why they couldn't be protected in time, that is not something he walks away from unchanged. This is very hard to watch develop, because Nick is not a villain here. He is a man in crisis who is actively making things worse while telling himself he has it under control. And that gap between what he thinks he's managing and what he's actually doing to the people around him is closing fast. Storyline 5. Reza and what Adam is about to find out. Adam is not letting this go. He knows there is more information somewhere, and he is pressing Reza to give it to him. The thing about Reza is that she and Matt have a long history, personal and criminal. That kind of history creates loyalty, debt, fear, and leverage all at the same time. It means Reza has been in Matt's world long enough to know things. Real things. Possibly including what Matt is planning, who he's targeting, and where Sharon and Noah have been led. Adam is pushing for the truth. And there are two possible versions of Reza that he's going to find when he pushes hard enough. The first version is that Reza is a victim herself, someone who got pulled back into Matt's orbit, who may be afraid of him, who may have been feeding Adam information while also staying close to Matt because she doesn't feel safe doing otherwise. In this version, Reza has been playing both sides, not out of genuine loyalty to Matt, but out of genuine fear. The second version is darker. In this version, Reza has been working with Matt all along, deliberately feeding the Newmans just enough information to seem helpful while keeping Matt's Real plans protected. In this version, everything Adam thought he knew about Reza was a performance. Looks like Adam is going to get to the truth this week, and whichever version of Reza he finds, the information she has about Matt's plan and Sharon and Noah's location is critical. The question is whether he gets it in time to do something with it, because Sharon and Noah are already there. The abandoned building is already waiting, and Matt is not the kind of person who stands around patiently. This is where the week's danger converges. Adam with the information he needs, racing against a clock that may already be running out. The big picture, what this week is really about. Every storyline this week is running on the same fuel: deception, people hiding things, misreading things, or being deliberately misled. Jack and Nikki's plan is built on creating a false impression. Devin's move on the appeal was hidden from his own partner. Patty's obsession runs on a version of Jack that only exists in her head. Nick is lying about how impaired he is to everyone around him. And Reza may have been deceiving Adam, and possibly herself, from the beginning. The fallout from all of this deception is what the rest of the week delivers. Diane confronting Jack with a version of events that may be partially wrong. Abby feeling shut out by Devin over something that affects her directly. Phyllis pushing back against threats from multiple directions. Adam closing in on a truth that could change everything for the Newman family. And Sharon and Noah in the most physically dangerous situation of the week, in a building they were tricked into entering. What makes this week compelling isn't just the individual drama. It's the way all of it connects. Victor's moves touch Phyllis's storyline and ripple into Jack and Nikki's situation. Nick's spiral connects directly to the Vegas trap. Ray's secrets are the potential key to unlocking everything Matt has set in motion. Nothing this week is happening in isolation, and that feeling that everything is pulling tight at the same time is exactly what makes it worth watching. 3 questions for the comments. Does Jack and Nikki's plan destroy both marriages, or does one couple pull back from the edge in time? Is Reza a victim, or has she been working with Matt all along? And does Nick hit his rock bottom before or after something terrible happens to Sharon and Noah in Las Vegas? Drop your thoughts below.